What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassandra, and this week I wanted to show you guys what a week on the homestead looks like when you are really fighting the rain, heading into early summer, all the projects that are getting done, and how we just managed a week full of almost nothing but rain with very short breaks in between the rain, how we got everything done, and kind of what we do when we have to kind of fly by the seat of our pants and still be productive here on the homestead. I am out in the orchard. I have a handful of things I want to get in the ground today. Some cucumbers and some melons that we started back when we were starting seeds together. And I thought they were dead, but they ended up coming back. I just left them out on the deck, and I guess over time with the rain, they ended up looking fantastic. So Joe has this strip here in the orchard that he tilled and we never put anything in. So it's fair game. I'm gonna put that in. My husband's home from his work. Joe got home this morning from his kind of like on the road work trip, so he's inside with the kids. It's about 7 o'clock. He's doing bedtime routine with the baby and with some of the big kids, and while he's watching them, I'm gonna get these in the ground. Out here in the orchard, this is a spot that my husband tilled, and we were going to put something here and then we opted not to. We ended up putting some more berries and stuff kind of in between the trees, so we had this spot here kind of ready to go and empty. So it was the perfect spot to put some of these cucumbers and some of these melons. I have two different variety of cucumbers in here. I think some straight cucumbers and some munchers, or some crazy 8 cucumbers and some munchers. And then we also put in a couple different types of watermelons. The other thing I wanted to do before those couple days of rain came in was to get some more snap peas put in this open spot in the garden here. And I was able to do that, which made me feel much better. So I got these in before the rain. This is what I'm working on today. We have 3 days of rain, and for the next 3 days I'm basically just gonna be processing everything that I can out of my freezers left over from last year's garden. My husband was digging in the freezers recently and he's like, "Cassandra, you realize you have bags of tomatoes in the bottom of the chest freezer, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I thought that I had like 2 bags in the bottom of the chest freezer." Well, I just went out there and I had 5 bags in the bottom of the chest freezer. This is probably at least 60 pounds of tomatoes, if not more, left over from 2023's garden. These have to be processed. It actually works out because I am running low on pizza sauce and spaghetti sauce, so that's what we're gonna be making these into today. I'm happy I had more than what I realized, so we're gonna get these processed today. And then I went digging in another chest freezer that we use for overflow, and we made some of these little salsa kit bags, a new thing that I did last year for preservation, and we really like them. I think we put 8 of them in the chest freezer. This is the only one I have left. This is just tomatoes, bell peppers, and some onions, which is perfect because that's where I like to put my sauces anyways. I also have a bag downstairs in the same chest freezer full of whole peppers, and I'm thinking I might go down there and pull out 1 or 2 of those whole bell peppers to put in my sauces. If you're new here, I love to stock my pizza sauce and my spaghetti sauce full of as many vegetables as I can. That way when my kids only want a homemade cheese pizza, or we're doing spaghetti and maybe I don't have time to do a side, or I just don't want to make a side and we just want to do a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, I know that it is still jam-packed full of things like peppers or carrots or pretty much anything that comes out of the garden. But my favorite thing, absolute favorite thing to put in it is zucchini. If you're looking for ways throughout this summer to use some of the crazy amount of zucchini that comes out of your garden, use it to thicken and put extra nutrients and oomph into your sauces, guys. Absolutely love it. I blend this all at the end with my immersion blender, and the zucchini gets shredded or blended so tiny, it's just little green specks, and you can tell no difference between the zucchini specks and oregano or basil or something that you're gonna put in your sauce to season it anyways. You cannot taste it, but it just adds a little bit of thickness, and like I said, those vegetables that I love so much to add. So here's what we're going to do. My plan for today is to get these in my roaster pot. I might have to break out my crock pot too because this is a lot of tomatoes, but it's supposed to start raining later this afternoon. It is story time at the library today, so I'm gonna hopefully, I have breakfast in the oven right now. We're gonna pull out breakfast, and then hopefully by the time we get back, a lot of these tomatoes are kind of already cooked down. We're gonna let all the water evaporate because these are slicing tomatoes, not Roma tomatoes, so they have a lot more water content in these. If you have the time, because I know throwing tomatoes in the freezer is kind of like something you just throw it in, you're gonna worry about it later. This is really how I recommend you putting your tomatoes in the freezer. So you are going to cut the tops out, core them out, and make sure that they're clean like these tomatoes are before you put them in your freezer. The ones that are in my sink right now are, most of them are not cored and they are really dirty, so that's why I'm taking the time to peel the skins off. Otherwise, these ones still have the skins off. I wouldn't worry about it otherwise. So because these are clean, I'm just gonna dump these in. And these are the salsa kits, some of our peppers and our onions in here. And I'm just gonna get all those tomatoes cleaned off as best as I can and pour them in here. And then I'm just going to turn this on a low temperature and let this cook down all morning while we're at the library. And we will come to do the next couple steps once everything's cooked down and ready to go. But it really saves yourself a lot of time if I could just dump all these in right now. But a lot of my tomatoes are really gross. Like you can see, they still have leaves and dirt and stuff on them. So I gotta get these at least rinsed off before I put them in here, because that's just not safe and really gross. So we're gonna get everything rinsed off and put in here. Cooking down all day. We're going on almost 12 hours. I'm going to continue to let this cook down. Normally this is where I would blend it and start the canning process. However, I'm trying to cook it down longer this time so that I don't get that as watery sauce. So I'm going to continue to let this go. Before I go to bed tonight, I'm going to turn the temperature down and just kind of let it simmer all night long. Keep kind of getting all of that water out of it. And then at some point tomorrow, I will blend it and start getting it all canned. This is when I like to take my immersion blender. I got this last season or the season before. It was really cheap. My husband picked it up on the way home for me when I was kind of canning spaghetti sauce for the first time. And let me tell you, it is a game changer. It is one of my favorite and most used kitchen tools. Once I got everything blended up, I add my family's seasonings of choice, which happen to be seasoned salt, pepper, oregano, basil. Sometimes I'll throw in some extra garlic or some extra onion powder if I feel that I didn't put enough fresh in here. And then I'll give it a stir. I like to top mine with brown sugar. That's a personal choice. You can do regular sugar, no sugar. I just like the brown sugar. That's where I left it for the night. I just let it simmer all night long, and I woke up very early the next morning before the kids so that I could get these canned up and ready to go. And you can see there's maybe a hair of water that could have cooked down a little bit more in these, but I am so much happier with the result of these than last year. The next day we went out and I was trying to work in between the rain during this week, and I had to get some of my spinach harvested. A lot of it is starting to bolt, which is okay. So I just wanted to get out there and harvest whatever I could, get rid of whatever was bolting, and I would like to put a second planting of spinach in this spot. So I just wanted to get everything cleaned up, harvest as much as I could. You can see the rain really starting to roll in here. So this week was really about just working in between the rainstorms. While me and Cleo were harvesting spinach, my husband went out into the orchard because I picked up some of these birdhouses from a local flea market, and we wanted to get those hung up in the orchard, so he did that. And they are absolutely beautiful, guys. We absolutely love them. We're hoping to get some birds in the orchard to help control some of the caterpillars and the bugs that are eating a lot of the leaves on specifically our apple trees. We're trying to fight nature with nature, so we would much prefer to just have the birds come in and take care of some of those caterpillars for us. The next thing we did was go ahead and make some pudding cups and some Jello cups because it was just raining and raining, so it was a good kind of week to do some fun inside projects with the kids. So we made some pudding cups. The kids picked chocolate, and we also made some Jell-O cups. We just went ahead and followed the instructions on the back of the Jell-O box, on the back of the pudding box, and then instead of dumping them into like a really big bowl or something, we just pour ours into these 4-ounce mason jars, and they make perfect snack packs for the kids. My husband also brings these to work. They're just really fun, kind of cold summer treat to keep in the fridge that's different than a popsicle or ice cream or something like that. That was a full week here on the homestead of just different projects we were working on, especially during the rain, working in between the rain. That's kind of the name of the game here, at least this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in another video.